Hey, how you doing today? I am Tequila Coleman. Listen, I want to talk to those of you who are feeling like you are second choice. You were second choice to your prodigal spouse. I want to talk to you in this video, and I want to just tell you to get out of your feelings and get understanding. Get out of your feelings and get understanding. See, your feelings, the way how you are feeling right now, you feel like your second choice, you feeling like an option, you feeling like the only reason why your God ordained prodigal spouse is going to come back is because it didn't work out with the counterfeit. And this is causing you to feel some type of way. But what you don't understand and what you're missing is your feelings is the very thing that is blocking you from getting to that next level. Your feelings is the very thing that is causing you to stay right here in this level of unforgiveness, hurt, and pain. See, you're missing understanding here. I say this all the time. I'm big on helping everyone to get understanding because when you have understanding, the understanding helps give you a different perspective. Understanding brings you into a whole nother level of healing, right? See, what you are missing, number one, you were always first choice. You were always first choice. See, when you begin to sit down, and I'm speaking from experience here because I dealt with this. The Lord had to give me this revelation that I'm about to give to you. But I dealt with this and I was feeling like I was, second option, second choice. I was resentful, and I was telling God, I don't want this just if he just coming back just because it didn't work out with the counterfeit. And God had to sit me down and give me this revelation. Here's the thing. You were always first choice. If when you look at your God ordained love story, if there was if there were any kind of witchcraft attacks, being sent your way or your God ordained prodigal spouse way, you got to look at that. Okay. If there was love spells, separation spells, humiliation spells, any kind of spells being placed on you or your God ordained prodigal spouse, you got to take that into consideration. Okay. If God, gave you the insight and revelation that they are attempting to transfer your destiny, right? And we know when a destiny transfer attempt has taken place because this is when you kind of can feel it, but this is also when you start seeing the counterfeit trying to be you. The counterfeit trying to, take on your personality, trying to sound like you, look like you, move like you, right? All with the intention of misleading and guiding your God ordained prodigal spouse. When you understand how the enemy was coming up against this love story, you would now understand that you were always first choice. See, the reason why the separation happened, the reason why your prodigal spouse ended up with the counterfeit is because of the deception. It's because of the witchcraft manipulation. So you cannot look at this love story, by the appearance of things. No, you have to sit down and take a look at all of what happened in your love story. You and your God ordained prodigal spouse, y'all were fighting against generational curses. Like I said, you had love spells being placed on your spouse, separation spell placed on you, a destiny transfer attempt. We got these witches and warlocks. They trying to lock your personality into these boxes, right? And have you, they do that so that you can show up differently to your God ordained prodigal spouse, and your spouse doesn't find you attractive, right? Now your spouse moving away from you. We have spirit spouses that are attached to our lives. Your prodigal got a spirit spouse attached to their life. We got demons, influencing bad behavior, right? We're choosing people out of our own weaknesses. Okay. Prodigals rejecting their God ordained spouse because of their unhealed wound, because they don't feel good enough. We got intimidation coming up in this love story. We have insecurities we're battling with. We feeling inadequate. We feeling like, we even asking God, why are you blessing me with this? Right? So when you sit down and take a look at all the things that were thrown your way at this love story, it's a reason why the enemy was fighting you the way how he was. Think about it. The enemy, and I put this up on the community tab as a post, but I said the enemy is trying to steal this from you because the enemy already know You are God's chosen one. You're the first choice. God chose you for this promise. God never chose the counterfeit. This is why some of these counterfeits are, doing the love spell, sending the witchcraft attacks, right? Erecting up these demonic altars over our lives. This is why they trying to do this destiny transfer attempt. They trying to steal your destiny because they want your spot. They want that number one spot. So I got to bring this awareness because, like I said, I dealt with this and God had to give me some understanding, to help me move to that next level of forgiveness, right? And just really seeing things in the right perspective. But you got to begin to understand you and your spouse, both of you were fighting generational curses. Okay, when you take a look at your family bloodline and begin to identify what are the generational curses that are running rampant in our family bloodline, you might see a generational curse of divorce. You might see a generational curse of singleness. You might see a generational curse of absent father. You might see a generational curse of mental health, right? um, you know, Whatever the case may be, you will begin to identify these are the generational curses that running in my family bloodline and my spouse's family bloodline. And these are the things you're still fighting against. These things, soon as you try to come together, it pulls you right back away. It pulls you apart. And this is why, while we are in this divine separation, God wants us to become aware of, okay, what are the generational curses that are running rampant in my family bloodline so that I can begin to break them, begin to renounce these generational curses and come out of agreement with it, right? So that it can stop attacking this love story. This is why God is telling us pray for your God ordained prodigal spouse so that that demon can come up out of your spouse and stop influencing the bad behavior. The reason why your spouse is rejecting you, that is a spirit of rejection. The reason why, you see the lust all over your prodigal, that is a spirit of lust. And so God say, pray, because I want to get that out of your prodigal spouse. When we talk about God restoring, right, we have standards who are standing for marriage restoration. To restore means to return someone to a former condition, place, or position. If you were never first choice, then why God want to restore this love story? God already know how the enemy is attacking this love story. And so God wants to restore. He said, I'm going to restore better than before. Because when God restores your prodigal back to their original condition, now your prodigal can see you as their husband or wife. Now your prodigal is in their right mind. See, when you're dealing with a prodigal, they are not in their right mind. They have a mind of no understanding. Their senses has left. It's gone. Read the story of the prodigal son. It said when he came back to his senses, right? So we can't base, this love story off of the appearance of things. You have to sit down and you got to begin to write down, well, what are the generational curses that are running rampant through my family bloodline and my spouse's family bloodline? What are all the different ways the enemy tried to attack this love story? Okay, witchcraft attack, love spell, separation spell. They tried a destiny transfer attempt. They locked my personality in these box and coffin, right? You know, it could have been other things too, throwing suicide, spirits your way, messing with your finances, throwing sickness, spirit of sickness your way, right? It's a reason why the enemy is trying to comfort you this way because they already know, the enemy already know you are God's first choice. You are always first choice. So the enemy say, let me just come on in here and tamper with this. Let me go ahead and manipulate the situation, right? Because I'm trying to steal this. The whole goal of the enemy is to steal, kill, and destroy. The enemy said, let me tamper with this love story so I can try to take it from him because the enemy wanted. But God said, no, this goes to you, daughter. This goes to you, son, because I chose you. Think about Sarah and Abraham. When God promised them the promised child, Isaac was always first choice. It was Sarah who had the demonic idea, and it was also Sarah who got impatient because Abraham believed God. He was like, okay, all right, cool. But Sarah was the one who was impatient, chose she was the one who chose a counterfeit child out of her own impatience, out of her own lack of belief and trust in God. She got in her own way and put a counterfeit before her promised child. But we, as you continue to read in the book of Genesis, the promise still came forward. And the counterfeit Ishmael went away. And Isaac is the one who God made his covenant with. Isaac was always first choice. You, the God ordained spouse, are God's first choice. You are your God ordained prodigal spouse first choice. The reason why your prodigal spouse ended up with a counterfeit, it was because of the manipulation. It was because of the love spell that was placed on them. It was because of, unhealed wounds, your spouse feeling not good enough, feeling inadequate, you know, doubting their abilities. It's because of all of these things, generational curses. It's because the enemy is in their ear. Your spouse chose you in their heart the first time when they saw you, when they met you. But once the enemy found out about you, the enemy started attacking this love story. And this is why God said, get on your post and pray for your spouse. Because God knows through prayer is how we're going to, that's one of the ways how God is going to restore this love story. Okay. So you were always first choice. You got to get out of your feelings and you have to get understanding. Because as long as you are allowing your feelings to dictate, how you're going to go about this love story, you would never get in it. Understand that feelings are fickle. They're fickle. They can't be trusted. Get out of your feelings and get understanding. Proverbs tell us, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not onto your own understanding. You have to go to God in prayer and ask God, God, give me understanding. This is what I'm dealing with. This is how I feel. Now, can you bring understanding my way so that I can begin to heal and get to this next level in this love story? Okay? Because staying in your feeling is the very thing that's blocking you. And so we got to move out of our feelings and move into a level of understanding. And we also have to move into a level of forgiveness. Okay? God is waiting on a lot of us to forgive our spouses. They were manipulated. The enemy was attacking this love story. Okay? So that's what I wanted to say. Okay? Like I said, I dealt with this and God had to give me this revelation that he's giving you. Okay? And just understand and know they're not coming back just because it didn't work out with the counterfeit. No, they're coming back. Your spouse is coming back because your spouse recognized you are their God ordained wife. You are their God ordained husband. Your spouse is coming back because they recognize home is with you. They recognize it and they realize they want to build their family with you. Okay. This is why your spouse is coming back, because your spouse see your worth and value. Your spouse has been restored back into their right mind. Your spouse has grown, okay, to a whole nother level of healing. Your spouse no longer desire the counterfeit. This is why they're coming back. They desire you, their God ordained spouse. So get out of your feelings and get understanding. I am Tequila Coleman. I'll talk to you all real soon. Take care.